5 News starts now with breaking news.
Well, hey, thank you for joining us here on 5 News. Plus, we have breaking news just coming down in the Amber Waterman murder case.
Yes, just moments ago, Amber Waterman changed her not guilty plea in the death of Ashley Bush and her unborn baby to guilty.
Yeah, now this ends the state of Arkansas's case against her, where prosecutors were seeking the death penalty in this case. Now, today's hearing, this was expected. The court also hearing from Ashley Bush's family as well. We actually have Lane Boone, Ashley's cousin, saying that she doesn't call Waterman a monster. That's giving her too much power.
Yeah, another thing that was said, the judge assures family in the state of Arkansas that life is life and that she will never be able to be free. A reporter who were in there in the room say that Waterman just sat there kind of lifeless, emotionless while they were saying these things.
Yeah, the judge, very powerful, saying, to the family now that she has changed her plea, pleading guilty to this. She will no longer, of course, be faced with a death penalty, but serving life, and she will never be free, never be back out in public, giving them that reassurance.
And we know that this was one thing that the family was hopeful for, in a sense. They said that they wanted justice. In an interview about a year ago where we were able to talk to the family, they were saying that they wanted to make sure that justice was done for their family members of Valkyrie Grace, the unborn baby, along with Ashley Bush. Now, this is a video right now this morning of Amber Waterman walking into court just before her hearing.
Yeah, definitely. So this is a new look at her and in her cases right now. Also, there was a gag order put in place in this case some time ago, not allowing prosecutors or anyone involved with the case to speak about it. The judge has lifted that gag order now. So, of course, our reporters there on scene are trying to gather some more information about that. Now, we also want to mention, though, the victim in this case. We can't forget Ashley Bush. She was 31 weeks pregnant when her fourth child, when Waterman is accused of kidnapping and killing her in a scheme there to claim her unborn baby as her own.
Yeah, according to Bush's family, she planned to name her Valkyrie Grace, like we mentioned. And the family, they've been wearing yellow to remember Ashley and Valkyrie. They also said that they were seeking maximum justice. And so I'm sure today they were a little relieved knowing that that is what happened.
Absolutely. Again, she has pleaded not guilty, changed her plea today just moments ago in a hearing there in Benton County to guilty. So no longer will face the death penalty, but will serve 2 life sentences for the murder of Ashley Bush and her baby. Now, according to documents, because we want to get a little bit of a timeline of the case, when this all started. This has been going on for many years now. We've been following it every step of the way. It was back in October of 2022. They believe Amber Waterman created a fake Facebook account and then joined a group that was centered around pregnant mothers, where she met Ashley Bush under the false name Lucy Barrows.
Yeah, they say that Waterman told Bush that she could help her get a job and drive her to an interview. Bush was dropped off by family at a gas station in Benton County. This is where, according to documents in her federal conviction, Waterman kidnapped Bush and brought her to her home in Pineville, Missouri. She had the plan to kill Bush and deliver the unborn baby to raise as her own.
Yeah, but it was that same day Waterman called police and claimed she had delivered a stillborn baby, though she refused any kind of treatment, and responders there pronounced the baby girl dead. A few days later, they arrested Waterman and her husband, Jamie, after questioning them there in Missouri. They say Jamie did not learn about the crime, though, until November 1st, when Amber admitted she had killed Bush, then changed her story, claiming that the Lucy person was responsible.
Jamie, the husband, told investigators that Amber led him to Bush's body, which she had wrapped in a blue tarp near their home. The couple then burned the body in a fire pit on their property and then drove it a short distance to hide it. An autopsy ruled that Bush's death, a homicide, was caused by trauma to her torso.
Yeah, now during the federal proceedings, the state was put on hold after prosecutors refused to release Waterman from federal custody there in Missouri, because we have to remember that she already faced this case in a federal courtroom out of Missouri, where she was found guilty there. They initially sought the death penalty, but she accepted a plea deal back in 2024 and received a life sentence there. Now, once the federal case ended, Waterman's attorneys, they entered that not guilty plea in Arkansas, which again, we told you was changed to guilty today, asking them to dismiss the charges. But of course, authorities there transferred her case to Arkansas. She made her appearance there in Benton County Court for the first time in October of 2024. And that's when the prosecutors charged her with the kidnapping count, which had since been dropped before today, and then the capital murder charges.
Yeah, and the defense have been arguing double jeopardy. A Benton County judge actually ruled the capital murder charges could proceed, but then dismissed that kidnapping charge. Waterman appealed, and then in May of 2025, the Arkansas Supreme Court upheld the ruling on the capital murder count. So it's taken quite some time and a few different things to happen before we got here today. Now, that same month, in 2025, her attorneys disclosed a brain lesion, leading the court to order a mental evaluation. Well, doctors found Waterman competent to stand trial, and the court scheduled a trial date for April 7th, 2026, so just a few months from now. Now, earlier this year, a few weeks ago, the defense filed 17 motions, including one asking the court to remove the death penalty. But days later, Judge Robin Green revealed a clerk's office error that improperly assigned the case.
Yeah, it was Judge Brad Karen who took over, imposed that gag order, which has been lifted now, and then canceled the April trial date. Though this mix-up has prompted all 7 Benton County Circuit judges to request a legislative audit of the clerk's office. And at a hearing in January, Judge Karen denied the request to drop that death penalty. Bench warrant order actually filed January 30 indicates that Waterman could change her plea to guilty at today's hearing. So a lot happening in this case. It's taken years to get here. It just sort of, your heart goes out to the family right now because they've been in this for so long.
Well, and you just think about them, they need that closure. And it finally seems like they're in that direction to probably get some. I know the interview we listened to earlier today from a few years ago, they were just saying that they wanted justice served. And it looks like they're getting closer to that as they're starting to make decisions. And she came forward today pleading guilty, which I feel like probably gave a little bit of peace to the family.
Right, definitely so. And so again, can we go ahead and take another look at that video, the brand new video from today as Amber Waterman was entering the courtroom. There it is again. This is a look at her today, just a few hours ago, of her walking into that courtroom, changing her plea from not guilty to guilty in the death of Ashley Bush and her unborn baby.
Yes, this started at around 8:30 this morning. It lasted about an hour. We will have live reports throughout the day, especially on your 5 News at noon.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just sort of give you a recap of what's happening here today, because we're waiting on the prosecutor to come out, and we're hoping to take him live just to get a few questions answered, to find out a little bit more about how things unfolded today in the courtroom. So again, we're bringing you breaking news right here on 5 News Plus, coming down in the Amber Waterman murder case.
Yeah, just moments ago, Amber Waterman, right there on your screen, changed her not guilty plea in the death of Ashley Bush and her unborn baby to guilty.
Yeah, so what this does is ends the state of Arkansas's case against her, where they were seeking the death penalty, with her pleading not guilty. They were adamant from the start. They were clear that they would be seeking the death penalty, but now that has been changed to guilty in the death of Ashley Bush and her unborn baby, it will be life sentences.
Yes, and this was a case a long time coming. This happened back in 2022, and so this has been going on for a few years. She had to go through trial in Missouri as well, in a federal courtroom, now to Arkansas, and this has been kind of going back and forth for a while. And so this is the latest here, again, changing that not guilty plea to guilty, serving life in prison.
Yeah, and our looks like our reporters now are saying that the prosecutors are back there with the family as of right now. I mean, I'm sure there's some things that, since they've been in this with them for years, they want to say to them. They want to let them know that happened.
And today in the courtroom, the family was able to say some things in front of Amber Waterman. And our reporters that were in the room, Claire Everbach and Bo Russell, they said that Amber Waterman kind of was emotionless when sitting there listening to the family, not really giving a reaction to the things that they were saying.
Yeah, and we're right now trying to get 5 News reporter Bo Russell on the phone, hopefully to ask him a few questions, just because he's been there, to get a better insight. Hopefully we'll have that for here in just a minute. But let's go ahead and take a look at her walking into court just this morning, just a few hours ago. She was brought in. You can see that they have her handcuffs. They have her shackled around her waist there. high guards around her, which looks like that has been the case every time that they transport her somewhere. It looks very similar to this.
I do think it's important to note she was in normal civilian clothes today. I feel like in the past we have seen her in a jumpsuit, and so I guess they allowed her to do that today. But Joe, this is something we've been following since the very beginning. In 2022, we were there when this case first started. And so to kind of see it, in a sense, come to fruition here, where the family is getting some answers and some closure here, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it really has. Years in the making here for this family, waiting for justice in this case. Just sort of standing by, going to every court hearing that's been held across state lines from Missouri, the federal case there, to here in Arkansas. And, you know, also they were paying close attention to her today in the courtroom with that gag order now lifted. Lane Boone, Ashley Bush's cousin, saying that she doesn't call Waterman a monster. That would be giving her too much power. And also, you know, we don't want to forget the victim in all of this. We want to say Ashley Bush's name. She was 31 weeks pregnant. This was her 4th child when Waterman is accused of kidnapping and killing her there in a scheme to claim her unborn baby as her own.
Well, we are going to go ahead and send it out to 5 News reporter Bo Russell, who was in the courtroom this morning. And Bo, you were able to sit in that courtroom, see it all play out. What was the atmosphere like in there? You know, how was Ashley Bush's family handling this decision along with Amber Waterman? What were her emotions during it?
Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Joe. Well, when the family arrived at first, you know, you could sense a sense of ease with the family that maybe this might all be coming to a close today. And then once they brought Amber Waterman into the courtroom, it went quiet and it was pretty somber and serious moving forward from there. You know, we weren't exactly sure what was going to happen today going into this court hearing, but it was pretty clear right off the bat that there was going to be a change of plea, and the judge wanted to talk to prosecutors and defense attorneys to really come to terms with why this change of plea was happening. And so here's what we learned today. The federal government, seeing as she already pled guilty in the federal court case, they could claim that she has to serve her life sentences with them, even if a death penalty was sentenced in a jury trial here in Benton County. And that's why today the family and prosecutors said that they want this to be over with. They don't want to go through more years of trials and hearings and having to be in court. So they wanted it to be over today. Amber Waterman and her defense attorney agreed and changed the plea. Now, they said as a part of that plea agreement, Amber Waterman met with prosecutors yesterday and investigators to fill in any gaps in the investigation as to what happened. Family members offered their victim impact statements today. A few of them were read by prosecutor Josh Robinson. Other family members read their own, just saying really how this has torn their lives up, how difficult it's been. You know, it was emotional. It was hard to listen to without getting emotional. They're meeting the families with prosecutors now, probably wrapping this all up. We're going to talk to prosecutors soon and see what they have to say.
All right. Thank you both for so much for that. We sure appreciate it. Again, if you're just joining us, Amber Waterman changing her not guilty plea in the killing of Ashley Bush and her unborn baby to guilty now, which means that this case will be over in that form. There will be no death penalty to face, but she will serve life sentences for both.
Yes, and like Bo mentioned, the family, they were ready for this to come to an end. I'm sure this has been a long time coming for them, finally getting those answers to figure out how they can move forward and have that closure that they
Absolutely.
needed.
So now as we're there in the courtroom, our reporters working to learn a lot more, talk to the family, talk to the prosecutors, everyone involved in this case, just to get some more to reflect on it now that it's been going on for quite some time, and we'll continue to gather that information today. We'll have the latest that's coming up.
Yes, be sure to stay with us here at 5 News Online and on 5 News Plus. We'll give those updates throughout the day as we learn them.